Hi, I'm Kalashian for Live and Invest Overseas, and today we're going to compare two of the world's top retirement havens. We're going to look at Spain and Portugal, both of which offer many of the same kinds of common benefits, but have a few different things that perhaps might rank better in one or the other. We're going to take a look specifically at Portugal's Algarve region, which was for many, many years running voted the #1 retirement haven in the world. It was recently, in the past 2 years, displaced by Valencia, Spain. And Valencia isn't necessarily one of the more popular or known retirement spots. In fact, it's kind of a more recent discovery for expats and foreign retirees who have always, for many decades now, been going to the Costa del Sol in Spain. This is a much more expat-heavy region, especially with British tourists and foreign residents. So we're going to compare these two very popular retirement havens and see how they compare. Portugal's Algarve checks every box on a retirees list. Got great weather, high quality healthcare, turnkey residency options, beautiful beaches, a welcoming expat community, low cost of living. What more could you want? Well, it's not the only place that offers all those things. There are other sunny, sandy options in Europe. Another choice, as I said, is Spain's Costa del Sol. This is the southern coastal area of Spain's Andalusia region. It's sandwiched between Nerja and Marbella, and Malaga is its centerpiece. So how do these compare? Let's take a look. So on your screen, you'll see the pros for Portugal and Spain, and you'll see that they have a lot in common. As I said, they both have great healthcare, much better ranked than the US, which ranks 39th on the same list that these rank here. They're both Schengen member countries. Residency is easy in Portugal because it offers the D7 option, which only requires about 1,200 euros monthly. The equivalent to that in Spain is the non-lucrative visa, which is also pretty easy and popular with retirees. They've both got Roman and Moorish patrimony, so a great diversity of architectural styles, cuisines, and different impacts on the culture. They both have excellent food and wine. Both offer lots of fresh seafood. They both have great beaches. Spain has both Atlantic and Mediterranean coastlines, which Portugal does not. Spain is also Europe's 4th largest country, which means it has a huge amount of varied geography, topography, including islands, mountains, rivers, islands, everything else in between. Portugal, on the other hand, is the oldest country in the old world. So this is the oldest country in Europe with the same defined borders for the longest period of time. There are diverse lifestyle opportunities in Spain and in Portugal, from cosmopolitan cities to vineyards and islands. English is widely spoken in Portugal. In Spain, you have Spanish as the language, which is a little bit more accessible than Portuguese is for most people. Portugal is safe, welcoming, politically peaceful. It's always between the 4th and 7th safest country in the world. It changes every year, but it only goes up or down one spot. And both countries are well positioned for travel around the continent, although Spain has better rail connections going outside of its own country, and it's just that little bit closer to the rest of Europe. The cons, they both have horrible bureaucracy. This is going to be the case throughout Europe, pretty much any country. In Portugal, you don't get the Mediterranean waters. They're not warm. They are bracing Atlantic waters, and they are quite chilly, and these are all of its beaches. There's no Mediterranean coastline. In Spain, you've got really high taxes with a complicated system. It's probably best as a lifestyle play. You're probably not going to want to invest here necessarily. Con for Portugal, that Portuguese is a little bit more difficult to learn. And in Spain, on the other hand, it's a less politically peaceful country. So there are strikes, marches, protests, etc. They're pretty common in cities. They're easy to live your life around. They're not usually violent, so it's not necessarily something that would impact your life, but something to be aware of. On the Portugal side, the healthcare system is overstretched with long wait times for care. And for Spain, the crowded beaches throughout some of the more popular touristy areas during the peak season, and overdevelopment in some areas can be a real turnoff. So let's dive into some of the more specifics here. So for accessibility, Spain wins in this category. It's much easier to get to the Costa del Sol than to Algarve. Malaga's airport has 60 countries that it connects to, including a direct flight to North America, Montreal. Whereas the main airport in Algarve is Faro. It only connects to 16 pretty close by countries. And the cost of living, Spain wins again here. The Algarve and the Costa del Sol have been transformed in the past couple of decades, 20 to 30 years. They are no longer the rustic seaports and fishing villages that they used to be. The towns in these regions have seen major growth and development with infrastructure upgrades to support all of these changes. And of course, that comes with an increased cost of living. However, Spain and Portugal are some of the lowest cost countries in the EU. The Costa del Sol is touristy, so it can be more expensive than many parts of the Algarve, but generally speaking, life in Spain does come at a lower cost than in Portugal. The cost of real estate, here it's a tie. Property markets in both the Costa del Sol and the Algarve are quite developed and are also very popular markets. There's been a spike in foreign buyers that has led to a lack of inventory in both markets. So definitely a place to go for appreciation and also for rentals if investment makes sense, which again in Spain, not so much. So there's a lot more to compare between these two countries. But first, I want to invite you to join me in Spain in September for our Live and Invest in Spain conference in Valencia. If Spain is on your radar, you shouldn't miss this chance to see it for yourself and get all your questions answered by local experts. Learn all the ways that you can make your life a lot easier, make the move a lot easier, pitfalls to avoid, tips and tricks and insights from people who've already done it. I'll be there with dozens of local service providers, expats who have already done this, and 100 or more of your fellow Live and Invest Overseas followers who are also looking at Spain. So if you're seriously comparing Spain and Portugal, you can also head across the border right after the event to make the comparison in person. It's a great opportunity once you're over here to go a little bit farther afield. You can find out more at that link on the screen, and I hope you'll join me there. Meantime, let's get back to comparing. The climate for Portugal and Spain, it's a tie. What qualifies as perfect weather is very subjective, of course, so it's really hard to pick a winner in this category. But the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula that we're talking about gets the best weather in Europe. The climate in these two regions is very similar. Both get more than 300 days a year of sunshine, little rainfall. Summers are dry and hot. Winters are mild and wet in both places. If you want higher temperatures and more sunshine, then the Costa del Sol is the answer. It's warmer. It's got the influence of the Med instead of the Atlantic. In July and August, the daily mean is over 78 degrees versus 73 in Algarve. Winters are proportionately cooler in the Algarve because of the Atlantic influence. And so that could be a good or bad thing depending on your preferences. So if you're looking for cooler weather, certainly Portugal has plenty of options as well as Spain. Quality of life. This is also a tie. Impossible to pick a winner. The expat offerings in the Algarve versus the Costa del Sol are neck and neck. Both have stunning coastlines, world-class beaches, welcoming expat communities, golf courses, hospitals, charming historical villages, and so much more. Both cultures are strongly family-oriented, and in the smaller towns that are dotted over the hillsides, there's still a simple traditional village lifestyle that dominates. Both destinations offer laid-back lifestyles and the opportunity to really take your foot off the pedal and enjoy a slower pace of life. The ease of residency is Portugal is the winner in this category, easy winner with the D7 or passive income earner visa, which you can apply for and qualify for quickly and easily with just about 1,200 euros a month of monthly income. Spain's equivalent that I mentioned in the beginning, the non-lucrative visa, has more onerous requirements, including a higher qualifying amount for income, usually over 2,000 euros a month. And both of them have offered golden visa programs, but these are quickly seeing their final days. Spain has already eliminated its complete program, and Portugal only offers now donations to the country or very large investments in the country, and real estate is not one of them. So that's definitely a downside. All right, let's look at the infrastructure. So Portugal and Spain are going to tie again in this category. Everything's about on par in both regions. If you settle on the coast of either country, you're most likely going to need a car to get around. The public transportation isn't great in these kind of dispersed regions where villages are 20, 30 minutes apart. Roads and highways are well marked and high standard, well maintained in both places though, so it's an easy place to drive in either case. Likewise, things like electricity, internet, garbage collection, water, etc. are on par, both excellent. Taxes, easy winner again is Portugal, much more welcoming to foreign retirees from a tax point of view. Spain is quite a high tax destination and is definitely not a place to go if you're looking to save money on taxes, although this shouldn't be your guiding thought when you're thinking of moving overseas, just one of the factors. Both of them have tax treaties with the US and Canada, so double taxation is not a concern. Healthcare, Spain wins. It's got the 7th best healthcare in the world, according to the World Health Organization. Portugal comes in at number 12, so it's not far off. But expats across Portugal do complain about the long wait times to get care in the public system. In both countries, you're probably going to supplement the local public care system with some private insurance, just in case you don't want to wait. For ease of settling in, we're going to say that Portugal wins here. Both the Costa del Sol and the Algarve have big, well-established expat communities, mostly made up of UK retirees. But English is much more widely spoken in Portugal. It's not the case in Spain, and that can be a big hurdle when you're first arriving someplace. So there you go. Those are some of the main comparison factors between Spain and Portugal. And again, if you join us for our Live and Invest in Spain conference, you'll learn about all the places that could be right for you in this country and the nuts and bolts to make it happen. You'll be creating a support network of friends and professionals as well. And the trip itself, it's at the very least a chance to see the world's #1 retirement haven for yourself. Have a nice little vacation, walk the streets, taste the foods, talk to the people, rediscover yourself in this really enchanting European city. The journey starts with us in the private rooms of the Live and Invest in Spain conference in Valencia this September. After the event, maybe you'll wander to Madrid or Barcelona or Portugal or the French Riviera or Gibraltar, all of them within easy reach for your own personal comparison. And I hope to see you there. Happy trails.